Welcome to another episode of the Speak English with a British Accent podcast. Now, before we begin, a quick note of caution. In section 4 of this week's show, I focus on a single swear word, so this may not be suitable for everyone. So if you are of a sensitive disposition, you may want to pause the podcast after you've listened to section 3, which is all about Parents' Evening English, talking about your child's progress. But now that PSA is out of the way, let's head over to section 1. Section 1. Minimal pairs by native language. Train the sounds your accent needs. Minimal pairs only work if you practice the right ones. The goal isn't to memorise lots of pairs, it's to train one specific sound contrast until your ear and mouth stop fighting you. So I'm going to go through some targeted minimal pairs by native language, with a few examples per contrast for you to practice. So let's start with Indian speakers. And these minimal pairs focus on the short versus the long vowels. Indian English often keeps vowels even in length, whereas RP British English doesn't. Length changes meaning. So in this minimal pair, we're targeting the I versus E vowel sounds. Sit, seat, sit, seat, ship, sheep, ship, sheep, bit, beat, bit, beat. So the short vowels are quick and relaxed and the long are noticeably held. If a British listener can't hear the length difference, they hear the wrong word. Now, Spanish speakers. Spanish speakers can have problems with the b versus v sounds. As in Spanish, the b and v can be pronounced the same, but in English they're absolutely not. So let's target this b versus v with berry, very, boat, vote, ban, van. So what you're training here is the b, the lips start closed to stop the air, and the v, the teeth v are on the lip, and the air continues. Now if both these sounds like a b, British listeners will mishear the word. So moving on to German speakers, here we're going to focus on the voiced versus voiceless final consonants. German speakers often pronounce final consonants as voiceless, even when English needs voicing. So our target sound for here is t versus d endings. So we've got bet, bed, seat, seed, right, ride. So what we're training here, we're making sure our vocal cords are on for voice sounds and we've got clean, confident endings. Now, Japanese speakers, here we're going to focus on the l versus r sounds. Japanese doesn't separate these sounds, but English does. So let's target the l versus r with light, right, glass, grass, fly, fry. So what you're training here is the tongue position, still versus curled, and clarity, not so much speed. Now for many Arabic speakers, they struggle with the p versus b, as many Arabic varieties don't use p, so it's often replaced with a b sound. So let's target these two sounds. Pat, bat, cap, cab, rip, rib. So what we're training for is that air burst for p. No vibration, and getting some confidence using a new sound. And finally, for my Chinese speakers, let's focus in on the final consonants n versus ing. Now, in many varieties of Chinese, final consonants are reduced or merged. In RP British English, the ending of the word often carries the meaning. So we're going to target these two sounds. Sin, sing. Ran, rang. Thin, thing. Can you hear the difference? N, the tongue tip touches the ridge behind the teeth. Ing, back of the tongue lifts, no tongue tip contact. We're holding the ending of the word, we're not swallowing it. If the final sound disappears or shifts, British listeners often hear a different word or nothing at all. So how to practice this? So choose one sound contrast only. Say all the minimal pairs with this sound contrast in. Exaggerate them first and then in a more relaxed manner. Now, if you need some lists of minimal pairs, get my British accent bundle, go to course 2 and you'll see a whole module dedicated to different minimal pairs. Tons there for you to practice. So go to learningbritishaccent.com/bundle and sign up there. Section 2. Verbs of Conflict and Crisis. We're all living in such volatile times today. So I'd like to look at verbs commonly used to talk about conflict, whether that's wars, protests, political crises, or dramatic headlines involving phrases like sources say and officials confirmed. These verbs are everywhere in British news, documentaries, and serious conversations, and they often sound far more controlled than the events they describe. So let's unpack them. Firstly, we have to break out. To break out, used when conflict starts suddenly, often unexpectedly. Fighting broke out overnight. Violence broke out after the announcement. Broke out. There's clear diphthongs. Broke out. Don't rush them. 2 is to defeat. To defeat means to win against an opponent, whether that's military, political, or metaphorical. The army defeated the rebel forces. She defeated her rival in the election. Defeated, defeated. 3 syllables for you. Defeated. Number 3 is to loot. To loot, which means to steal goods during chaos, usually after a conflict or a disaster. Shops were looted during the unrest. Looters targeted abandoned buildings. So we've got that long oo sound in loot. Loot. It's calm pronunciation, but it's got a serious meaning. Number 4 is to overthrow. To overthrow means to remove a government or leader from power, usually forcefully. The regime was overthrown in a coup. They attempted to overthrow the government. Let me just pick up on a word I used there. Coup, which is actually spelt C-O-U-P. Coup. That's how you think it should be said, but it's coup. We drop that p sound. Coup. Number 5, to declare. To declare. Used for official statements, especially in formal contexts. The country declared war. A state of emergency was declared. The second syllable here is the stressed one. Declare. Declare. Number 6 is to retreat. To retreat. This means to move back, often strategically. Forces were ordered to retreat. The army made a tactical retreat. The verb stress on the second syllable retreat, retreat. And some more useful conflict verbs is to escalate. Things become worse or more intense. The situation quickly escalated. To suppress. To stop forcefully. The protest was suppressed by police. To clash. Used when two sides meet violently. Rioters clashed with security forces. To negotiate. Now this is the hopeful one. Leaders agreed to negotiate. And to cease, which means to stop. It's a very formal way and a very British way. Hostilities ceased overnight. I've got 3 sentences for you to practice with measured pace and a falling intonation. Say them after me. Violence broke out overnight. The government was overthrown in a coup. Talks are expected to resume tomorrow. News English is calm, even when the situation isn't. These verbs will help you talk about serious events clearly and accurately, without sounding emotional or sensational. That calm, precise delivery is a hallmark of British English and RP pronunciation. And if you'd like more help with news-style English, pronunciation and natural sentence rhythm, the British Accent Bundle is packed with lessons to help you sound confident in real-world conversations. learningbritishaccent.com/bundle. Section 3. Parents' Evening English. Talking about your child's progress. Let's tackle a situation that makes even native speakers slightly nervous. Parents' evening. You're sitting opposite the teacher, nodding politely, while your brain thinks, I hope I sound calm, interested, and intelligent, not like I've forgotten all English. OK, let's fix that. So let's listen to a practice dialogue you might hear at a parents' evening. We have the teacher first and then the parent. Thanks for coming in. I'd like to talk about how Emma is getting on this term. Of course. I was hoping to hear how she's been progressing. Overall, she's doing very well, particularly in reading. She's confident and participates actively in class discussions. Oh, that's great to hear. She does enjoy reading at home. One area she could improve is written work. She sometimes rushes, which affects accuracy. Yes, we've noticed that as well. Is there anything we can do to support her at home? Encouraging her to slow down and check her work would really help. Oh, that sounds manageable. Thank you for the feedback. So some useful parents' evening phrases we heard was getting on, which means progressing. Doing well or doing very well, hopefully you'll hear those. One area she could improve. Support her at home. Encourage her to. Thank you for the feedback. All very British, very polite and very calm. So let's focus in on some of those words. First, progress. Progress. So here the first syllable is stressed. Progress. It's a long glide, pro, and we don't have any American progress here. Progress. I'd like to hear how she's been progressing. Now, did you hear how that O changes when I said progressing from progress? That O in progressing switched itself into that schwa sound. Number 2 is participates. Participates. We've got that long R sound, participates. And stress on the tissa, participates. She participates actively in class. And number 3, encourage. Encourage. It's a weak first syllable. It's not encourage, encourage. And we've got that short sound that you hear in cup in the word courage. Encourage. will encourage her to slow down. Okay, so repeat after me out loud. Overall, she's doing very well. One area she could improve is written work. Is there anything we can do to support her at home? Did you say them calmly and slowly, like a composed British parent with a cup of tea waiting afterwards? Well done. Now, if you don't like hearing swear words, now is the time to pause the podcast and listen to something else. If you're happy to continue, let's go to Section 4. Section 4. The versatility of the word fuck. Now, this section is about a word so flexible, so expressive, and so emotionally efficient that English speakers use it when their brain gives up entirely. Yes, we're talking about fuck. One word, roughly 30 meanings, endless tone changes, and absolutely not something you should learn from a textbook. So let's take a purely educational look. The many lives of fuck. Firstly, obviously sexual. Let's fuck. It's direct, it's blunt, no ambiguity whatsoever. What about the mischief version? Let's fuck with them, which means to tease, trick, or mess someone about. There's an aggression version. Let's fuck them up, which means to defeat or destroy or seriously damage physically or metaphorically. Anger. Fuck you. Rude dismissal. Relationship ending potential. What about regret or shock? Fuck me. Meaning I cannot believe this just happened. Or resignation. Oh, fuck it. I've stopped caring, emotionally retired. And surprise? Holy fuck! Genuine shock or amazement. Or what about puzzlement? What the fuck? Confusion mixed with mild outrage. Use it in an informal greeting. How the fuck are you? Friendly if tone and context are right. Dangerous otherwise. Fraud or being wronged, you could say, I got fucked over, which is to be treated unfairly, often financially and always bitterly. Identification? Who the fuck are you? Aggressive curiosity, not recommended at networking events. Or how about a philosophical indifference? Who gives a fuck? No one, truly no one. And as a compliment, yes really, she's so fucking beautiful. It's an intensifier here, doing emotional heavy lifting. And what about confusion? Where the fuck are we? You're lost, you're possibly hungry. Amazement. How the fuck did he do that? Equal parts admiration and disbelief. There's threat, don't fuck with me. Boundary firmly installed. And realisation, I fucking knew it. Vindication at maximum volume. There's dismissal, fuck that. Absolutely not. Hard no. Or defensive, fuck off. Go away, now, faster. Or there's frustration, for fuck's sake. This is a particular British favourite. Deep irritation, zero solutions. Or how about dismay? Oh, fuck. Something has gone wrong, possibly irreversibly. Or amusement. Lol, what the fuck? Confused but entertained. Or indifference. I don't give a fuck. Emotional shutdown complete. Or admiration. He just gives no fucks. Bold, fearless and socially dangerous. And finally, derision. You fuckwit. It's an insult, is very British, and surprisingly versatile. So, accent and delivery. This word is 90% tone. Flat tone if it's anger or dismissal. A rising tone if it's surprise or confusion. A drawn-out vowel, disbelief or frustration. Sharp and clipped if it's aggression. It's the same word, entirely different meaning. English is wild. Now, if English had a Swiss Army knife, this would be it. Learn when, why, and how it's used, not just the dictionary definition. And maybe don't try all of these at work tomorrow. You have been warned. And that brings us to the end of yet another show. I hope you enjoyed it. If you can give it 5 stars, that would be lovely. And I'll see you in February. Bye for now.